Welcome to the summary of Episode 3, The Vote. January 21st, 2017. In the Watchtower, the first of two votes is underway. The Justice League is first voting on whether to allow the team to vote on whether to use the Phantom Zone. By a 3/4 majority, the League votes yes. Then, the League and team vote on if the Phantom Zone should be utilized if there are no other options available to store a villain. By a 2/3 majority, the vote is yes. Opening credits. As Roy suffers from withdrawal symptoms, Lilith identifies herself and says she is also known as Omen because of her precognitive abilities. She convinces Roy that he will play an important role in fighting the coming dangers. He initially dismisses her, but her sincerity and directness pierces his self-pity. She offers to buy him breakfast. In El Paso, Blue Beetle and Kid Flash race each other, with Jaime complaining that it's not fun for him since he always loses. They discuss their plans for the day, including visiting a bookstore and getting lunch. When Bart holds Jaime's hand, Jaime says that he is uncomfortable showing affection in public because some people are not open-minded. Although Bart is baffled, he respects Jaime's request. Over breakfast, Lilith describes a vision she had the previous month about a young man named Victor Stone and his scientist father, Dr. Silas Stone. Vic's mother died from a rare disease several years earlier, and when Vic was diagnosed with the same disease, Silas vowed to use all his scientific ability to find a cure. Silas did discover a cure, but the day Vic was declared disease-free and recovering from the final treatment, a break-in at the laboratory caused a short in the delicate machinery. In the ensuing explosion, Vic lost about 60% of his body. To save his life, Silas grafted cybernetic implants to his son's body. Now that he has recovered, Lilith tells Roy, they need to seek him out. In Gotham City, Red Arrow and his daughter visit Artemis and her mother. It's revealed that Cheshire has returned to a life of crime and that Red is raising Leon by himself, though this is difficult to balance with his responsibility to the League. Paula reiterates that she's always available to watch her granddaughter when Red has League business. Eating lunch, Bart and Jaime discuss the vote on the Phantom Zone. Neither seems willing to reveal how they voted, but they eventually admit, to their relief, that they both opposed the decision. In Atlantis, Aqualad visits Black Manta in his hard water prison cell for the first time since his father was captured. Manta talks about the time he had to reflect on his past mistakes as an individual and as a father. Calderon is skeptical, but Manta asks for a chance to begin again. To atone for his past mistakes, he discloses that the light has spies everywhere, including Atlantis. When Calder leans in to learn more, Manta grabs him by the throat and uses the bioelectrical field in his son's body to disrupt the hard water cage. With Calder unconscious, Manta takes out the guards and escapes. Roy and Lilith approach Vic in the courtyard adjoining the lab. He is suspicious at first, but he recognizes Roy as Speedy. Lilith explains her dream and how they would like Vic to join them, but Vic realizes that Lilith knew about his accident before it happened and could have prevented it. Lilith is horrified when she sees the truth in Vic's words, but Roy defends her, saying that some events are meant to happen. Although Vic rejects their offer, Roy leaves his number. In the closer, the Light reports that Steppenwolf is visiting Apocalypse to report back to Darkseid, though Ra's al Ghul questions why interplanetary travel was necessary when there are simple communication methods. Black Manta is readmitted to the Light on a probationary basis. Queen Bee tells him that he'll be a full member again after accomplishing one task. He must bring them Calderon's head. So just a few comments on the third episode. With the League's first vote, it shows the group's progress towards accepting the team on more equal footing. With the second vote, we don't really know how anyone voted on the Phantom Zone question, with a few exceptions. After Lilith convinces Roy to join her, it's obvious that they will be assembling a version of the Teen Titans. Cyborg's origin story has been told numerous times, so I wanted a slightly different version with the notable distinction that he doesn't have all the resentment and anger towards his father. This doesn't make all of Silas's actions noble, as we'll find out later, but he certainly has his son's best interests at heart. Victor's anger only emerges when he forces Lilith to confront her decision to not warn him about the accident she predicted. That anger, however, seems to snap Roy out of his stupor to defend Lilith. To me, Season 2 established a very reasonable foundation for Bart and Jaime to have a romantic relationship, certainly much more than randomly thrown together couples like Tim and Cassie. I know that many viewers really shipped them together and nicknamed them Blue Pulse, while others were strongly opposed to them as a couple, or really any LGBT content at all in Young Justice. I recognize the limitations of network programming and animated shows purportedly aiming at a younger audience, but for my version of Young Justice, I ignored these constraints. Because Bart is from the future, a same-sex couple not being able to hold hands is baffling to him, but we also know that Bart's future is full of devastation and ruin, so he probably hasn't considered romance very much. While we don't know how most of the league or team voted on the Phantom Zone issue, I wanted to show the nervousness around discussing private moral questions, even between boyfriends. Luckily for them, Bart and Jaime both voted the same way. I loved the idea of Red Arrow and Arsenal being separate people, unlike in the comics. Since Arsenal is the original Roy Harper, I established here that everyone calls the clone Red. This scene also reveals that Red is a full-time father, with Cheshire going back to the criminal world, which is a way of bringing this family closer together. Black Manta turns the tables on Calderon by essentially playing a long game of deceit, just like Calder did when he infiltrated the light. Once he returns to the light, it is an uneasy homecoming. They don't deny him membership, despite his previous failure in perceiving Calder's deception, but they also made no attempt to free him from captivity. We saw that Manta was willing to injure his son in order to escape, but is he willing to actually kill him? Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and look for many more episodes to come. Take care.